Good evening and welcome to Metro Focus. I'm Rafael P. Roman. Harlem is arguably the world's most recognized neighborhood. A mecca for black culture, it is perhaps best known for the explosion of art, poetry, and music that occurred there in the 1920s and constituted a movement known collectively as the Harlem Renaissance. And now, over 40 Harlem institutions, such as the Apollo and the Harlem Opera Theater, are collaborating on the Harlem Renaissance 100, a year-long celebration of the historic centennial. The project aims to bring to the public an extended series of programs, events, and cultural activities, all highlighting the past and the future of the community that has helped shape the landscape of America. And joining us now to tell us more about the celebration is Yuen Chin, president of the Harlem One Stop, a community-based nonprofit and tour operator that is spearheading the project, and John Reddick, a Harlem historian who's participating in Harlem Renaissance 100. Welcome, both of you. It's such a pleasure to have you guys here. Now, John, let me start with you. What exactly was the Harlem Renaissance?
Well, the First World War ended, and there was a large armistice parade, and the Black Regiment, the Harlem Hellfighters, was a significant player in that group. And so not only were they victorious around their military accomplishment, they were victorious in sending out the music that would become the jazz rhythms for the Harlem Renaissance period. And so we're celebrating that kickoff after the war and what starts to be the Prohibition era and the era that people know most about the Harlem Renaissance.
So who are some of the people associated with the Harlem Renaissance?
Well, it's very interesting because there was an earlier group there, sort of ragtime artists that very few people know, James Reese Europe and people like that, but they influenced people like Gershwin. It was the second largest Jewish community in New York. And so the infusion of all the music we know from the Harlem Renaissance going forward, the American Songbook comes out of the intersection of these two groups.
But some individuals that our viewers may know. Paul Robeson, was he part of that?
Paul Robeson, Josephine Baker, they got their starts in Harlem and became international celebrities because they became sort of the ambassadors of the culture. Louis Armstrong, all of them. No matter where you were in America, if you were a black artist and aspired to be great, you came to New York.
Came to Harlem, yeah. So Yuen, what was the genesis of this ambitious project? How did it come to be?
Ambitious indeed.
Yeah.
You know, this is an exciting time in Harlem with all the changes, the gentrification, new residents moving in. And so it's exciting, and we wanted to introduce Harlem and what it means to the community and to the world.
Who is we? It's like you and a friend were sitting and saying, yeah, I got an idea. Why don't we spend a whole year of our lives putting together the most important organizations, institutions?
So Harlem One Stop and its partners, we thought it was important to commemorate the achievements of the Harlem Renaissance. And now more than ever, it was important not to lose the cultural essence of what was Harlem, what is Harlem, and what we hope to
You think that's a possibility? That's a risk?
Well, if we have to be successful in this, and there is a possibility. Neighborhoods change. People forget their history, and that's another reason for having this celebration.
But for us, I mean, both of us have come from other places. She grew up in Jamaica, I grew up in Philadelphia, but Harlem was like a beacon, even for my generation, and we're post-civil rights era, and the passion we felt for the neighborhood and the support it has given us, we want to send that back out in waves. And so there has been gentrification. I don't even like to use that word because there's resources, and tourism was the resource for the Harlem Renaissance. Visitorship can be the same thing. We're seeing a resurgence of African-American visitors to the neighborhood. Young people are really curious. We just talked to one of your staff people here. I was talking about one of the restaurants in the neighborhood. So that's what we want to revitalize and get the word out.
Yeah, by the way, what are some of the organizations that are involved? I mentioned a couple in the introduction.
Well, you mentioned that there are over 30 or 40 organizations. And it includes the large and small ones, the Apollo for one, the Schomburg, the New York Historical Society, although they're not based in Harlem, but they have a plethora of African-centric programs, which really speaks currently now to the Harlem Renaissance.
And it's certainly going to introduce some organizations and
that are lesser known.
right?
Yes, yes.
To New Yorkers.
Yes.
And by the way, in the course of doing this project, you've been at it since the beginning. I wonder, what did you discover about how much New Yorkers knew about Harlem, the Harlem Renaissance, and the important part it played not only in New York and the country, but in the world?
Yeah. So very little, I think, and again, this was the impetus for doing that. And in terms of Harlem, like in the Renaissance, one of the main motivation at that time was to get away from the white stereotype of what African Negro or Black American life was. And today, it's we want to tell the world that Harlem is still Harlem culturally, the energy, the vitality, and that that energy still exists, and
It still
don't
exists.
hold on.
Right, that's my next question, and
Yeah.
I mentioned this in the introduction, which is this is not just looking back at history.
Oh, no.
You're looking, John, elaborate. You're looking at the present, you're looking at the future.
Well, yeah, we're very much looking at the future, and the Renaissance in this presentation is the underpinning of what's going forward. When I mentioned the ragtime players, they were the hip hop artists to George Gershwin. George Gershwin was listening to the ragtime and trying to figure out how he's going to syncopate his music. So there's this energy now with the hip hop and dance, all these things that are going on, that we want to have this interaction again. And this is like a way to bring a light to what's going on, but it's certainly not just about the past. It's the past
And the
infusing the
future.
future.
So this has already started. We've already started the centennial. But tell us, what are some of the events and things that our viewers might have to look forward to that are happening over the course of the year?
Well, there is the program that a huge scale musical program, the Ordering of Moses at St. John Divine, which includes a 100-piece choir, and it features Damian Sneed, a well-known multi-genre music composer and artist, recording artist. There is an open house at the Apollo, which includes film screening as well as performances. And we're also have planned on the calendar a celebration of some of Harlem's jazz icons, such as Mary Lou Williams, George Gershwin, who is not typically known for jazz, Billy Strayhorn, Duke Ellington.
And that's just scratching the surface.
That's just scratching the
I know, I saw the list,
surface.
and we don't have time to talk about
Yeah.
it. Your background is in architecture,
Yes.
right? And I was just wondering, to what degree did the architecture of Harlem influence or inspire the artists that made up the...
Well, as an architect and coming from Philadelphia and reading about the Armistice Parade and the black soldiers marching up Fifth Avenue, as an architect, I can never come up Fifth Avenue and turn across 110th Street and look up the avenue and not realize not only had those soldiers fought in Europe and seen Paris, but they realized that their district looked like Paris. The broad boulevards and the sense of empowerment as a backdrop. It's not Catfish Row. It's a really beautiful neighborhood. I think that's one thing that's lost to the public, this sort of stereotype. Everyone, when they see the architecture, go, oh, we didn't realize it was this beautiful. Well, it's been that beautiful for over 100 years. And so the Heights, the Central Harlem and the broad boulevards and all of that, we want people to come up and really experience that vitality, that energy that makes people feel they're in a special place.
And by the way, do you think that I was exaggerating? I was doing it too big when in the introduction I said that Harlem is arguably the best known neighborhood in the world?
I travel all over the world, and you mentioned Harlem, people want to know about it. Even if you bought a $5 million, you talk about gentrification, you can mention the $5 million house, and the next conversation amongst the billionaires that you're talking to will be about the neighborhood. And are you going to the clubs where the action is and all of that? It has a vitality and a spirit because it's liberating. What did the oppressed find as a Mecca? The oppressed, defined as the oppressed, turned it into this glorious place. And it's a beacon for any group that's looking to sort of push their culture forward.
Yeah, and I'd like to ask both of you this question, which is, it's clear the impact, the effect that the Harlem Renaissance had on Black history and Black culture. But it also had a profound effect on the history and the culture of America overall.
You have to convince us.
But tell us about that. Tell us how that is.
Well, I mean, music goes over the wall. And so hip hop, all those beats, if you get the beat, you get the culture. Mm-hmm. And I think the African Americans were in sync in a more spiritual way, you know, to music that sort of was this underpinning that brought other people on board. And you still see it in the hip hop. You think about the hip hop kids didn't have music in their schools, and yet they figured out a way to make music through the sampling and everything. There's a genius in all that we don't really talk about and bring forward. You know, we feel in the community, but we feel like the keepers of the notoriety. You don't always see that, and so we want you to come up and feel it firsthand.
Yeah. UN, would America be the same if the Harlem Renaissance had not happened?
I don't think so.
It'd be boring. It would be boring.
Just the development of jazz alone, you know, and literary arts. I mean, no, it would not be the same.
And this is how
it wouldn't have the color and the energy and the vitality.
You know, we were talking about this before the cameras started rolling. I mean, this is something that should be taught in history books, at least in New York City, right? So listen, after the year is over, and you guys are finally going to be able to rest for maybe 24 hours, what do you hope to have accomplished?
Well, a greater appreciation and awareness for Harlem and and the significance and impact worldwide, and also you know, a self of empowerment, especially for our young kids.
And organizations that are participating, they're big, like she said, big and small. So there's a chance for the smaller ones to see that we can really partner together and pull things forward and get attention. A lot of the small groups, as good as they are, they can't get, like this airing of the show, you're giving us a chance to get the voices out. I think that's going to make a difference.
And you know, each organization was invited because of the various elements of the Harlem Renaissance that they represent extremely well, whether it's music, literary arts, dance, jazz. Yeah. So we're very excited, and we hope everyone come up to experience this.
I'll be there. I'll be there. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
About this.
It's a pleasure.
For more information on Harlem Renaissance 100, you can visit our website at metrofocus.org.